Well, good evening, my friends, and once again, thank you for taking this opportunity to join me for Sunday, November the 4th, 2018. And again, with just no more than 2 days, I repeat, just 2 days away to the midterm elections again. I hope for many of you that have not voted yet, please do get out there and vote again. It is extremely important that you do vote. As I've said, it is the only way you can let your voices be heard in the political sense of things again, to get your voices out there if you want to make this country a better place for everyone here again, given all the political turmoil we are seeing with the left, and of course even members of the Democratic Party as well calling for violence, as many of you may know. Maxine Waters, Cory Booker, Eric Holder, and of course many others along the way, as well as far leftist, communist ideological group Antifa, as they continue to march down the streets and protest, trying to get their point across. Why they get in the face of individuals, they block traffic and harass people and call people all kinds of names and so on and so forth. But again, we are no more than just 2 days away to the midterm elections again. I know many people are getting very excited, and some are getting very nervous, obviously. As well as, of course, it was just the other day we seen Nancy Pelosi go on to predict that the Democrats will take back the House, according to her, from what she had to go on to say. But, it's obvious that they are getting very nervous again because of, the situation at hand, given the Republican Party is in the lead in a tight race against the Democratic Party. But they still need to win the Senate and both the House in order to gain control again. But, with that being said, things are definitely looking good. We really need to get out there and vote again. Let me see, who is it here? According to a link, which I will be sharing here shortly, New Hampshire's GOP congressional nominee, Eddie Edwards, has gone on to state that they are scared. It's obvious that something is wrong because, of course, Obama is, attending many of these rallies. He's here in Chicago tonight attending a rally for J.B. Pritzker and, governor's race against Bruce Rauner and both J.B. Pritzker. But again, it just goes to show what's really going on with that sense. But, I will be leaving a link in regards to this. We will be playing a quick soundbite here by nominee Eddie Edwards again, where he goes on to state here.
They've been nervous since day one. Since I declared my candidacy in April 2017, they've been nervous. And it shows right now. Nancy Pelosi has spent well over $500,000 in the final week to try to distort my campaign. That's why you saw the AARP come out and announce that commercial, because it was full of lies and distortions. Back in April 2017, when my website was even built, we were talking about lowering the cost of healthcare in this country. I talked about pre-existing conditions and protecting pre-existing conditions. This is what you get more from the left when there's no policy to run on. Nothing but threats and chaos and disruption and division.
Exactly.
While national PACs are helping PAP us out, so far, none of the national PACs on the Republican side are coming to your defense. Do you need it, or are you okay?
No. They are. I mean, they make campaign contributions to the campaign. But this is New Hampshire, right? So this is all about grassroots. This is all about knocking on doors. It's all about retail politics. That's what the Granite States appreciates the most. And that can overcome dollars at any level. You have to meet the voters. You got to be out. I'm the only candidate that's doing town hall meetings. That's what the Granite States expect.
Wow. So you just heard it yourself, obviously, that they are scared. They're willing to go to another level to be able to spend millions to try to stop, the Republican Party at any means necessary. But it goes on to read here, according to Fox News, what you just heard Eddie Edwards go on to state that they are very nervous. It states here they've been nervous since day one, as Eddie Edwards claimed. Since I declared my candidacy in April of 2017, they've been nervous, and it shows right now. Of course, it states here that Nancy Pelosi has spent well over $500,000 in the last week to try to distort my campaign, as Eddie went on to state. The Republican nominee of New Hampshire, as many of you already know, it's all about, exactly as he just said, it's all about causing division, causing strife among the political parties, and the only one that seems to be doing that right now is the leftists. And it's obvious. I mean, look at what Maxine Waters has gone on to state, encouraging, protesters to get in the faces of Republican senators everywhere. And we have seen video of it. Cory Booker going on to, plead with the people to do the same. Even Eric Holder going on to state that when they go low, we kick them in the shins, more or less. And it's absolutely getting ridiculous. I was just watching, I was watching Fox News in the morning just the other day, and they were at a restaurant, I believe it was, in West Virginia there, and they asked a husband and a wife, and of course the husband was a registered Republican, the wife was a registered Democrat, but she had no shame in admitting she's voting Republican this year because she's tired of all the rhetoric from the left, and I think many people are beginning to, get tired of it, and it's obviously starting to show. And of course, as many of you know, the Republican Party is already leading in the polls to, win the midterm elections by, by a very tight race, of course. But, we got to get out there and vote again, as I've said, because it's extremely important to do so. If we want to win the Senate and both the House. But, with that being said, some people are already nervous with the talks of violence looming in the air should the Republican Party win the midterm elections again, as some have already gone on to state. In my previous video as well, where, I did a report that, many of you may be familiar with actor James Cromwell, where he went on to state that there will be bloodshed in the streets, if the Republican Party wins the midterms. And another particular pastor I really like watching, Pastor Dave, great guy. I encourage you to go visit his channel. Gone on to state in a video yesterday as well, I believe, where, he's deeply worried that something may happen. But again, we really need to be in prayer that nothing does happen. But who really knows right now? Because, Trump has even gone on to state that if they don't win the midterm elections, that, there will be violence. But again, either way, it's not looking good. But obviously, they are nervous, as I've stated. Nancy Pelosi going on to state that, she believes the Democratic Party will take back the House again. But, how many of us heard that in the past, during the election process with Hillary versus Trump, and, it was even President Obama at the time stated that Hillary was going to win the presidency. And then guess what happened? She ended up losing. And then, of course, they had to, Hillary started going around playing the blame game. And, it's just getting ridiculous. But again, as I've said, if you haven't got out there and voted yet, please do so again. I know there will be many places here, open for early voting come tomorrow again, where both me and my wife will be hopefully attending to go vote. But again, with that being said, my friends, if we happen to have any more breaking news or any particular headlines, I will do my very best to bring that to you again. And for those of you watching again for the first time, do feel free to subscribe. And again, I will be leaving a link below so you can read and even watch this clip yourself of nominee Eddie Edwards himself again. And with that being said, talk to you all soon.